Okay, it's 8:15. I'd like to call the Human Resources and Public Works Committee meeting to order. Can we get, my name is Jim Marino. I'm participating remotely from my home in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, Isabella County.
Terry Hutchison, present, reporting from my home in Nottawa Township, Isabella County.
I'm Jim
Thank you.
Horton. I'm Jim Horton. I'm reporting from my home in Union Township, Mount Pleasant, Michigan, Isabella County.
Okay, thank you. I'm calling to the public. Nicole, do we have any public this morning?
We do not have any public at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Then we'll go to our first item, which is consider adopting Isabella Board of Commissioners Resolution number 21-05-01, adoption of the PA 192 of 1953 to create a county Department of Veterans Affairs and authorize the board chair to sign the same. Ian, could you take this, please?
Sure. So this sounds pretty odd, right? Why
Yeah.
are we adopting the Veterans Affairs Office? So it originally started several years ago. I actually looked for a resolution to create our office for a different reason. I don't remember what it was at that time, but I couldn't find it in the county clerk's office. They couldn't find it. Then a couple of years ago, when the Michigan Veterans Affairs had created the grant program, they were putting it under Public Act 192, and there was a fear that we were going to have that. So I already knew we were under Public Act 192. So let me just pull the resolution up and make sure we have it so we can send it to the state if we need to. Again, couldn't find it. Admin couldn't find it. I couldn't find it. County clerks couldn't find it. It turned out to be a nothing because the state didn't make the requirement. That was just the law they were using as essentially the grant. But, you know, we needed to kind of do it. So now is the time to do it. And essentially what Public Act 92 does, and I'll make this very simple, is in 1899, they established the Soldiers Relief. In 1911, they established county burial program. And then 1953, they established the Veterans Affairs. And the state basically said, why don't we just combine all these things together and create a Veterans Affairs Office to help veterans? So essentially, that's what this is. We've been doing it this entire time. We've been operating under the law. It just apparently was never a resolution. It's not mandatory, but basically all the counties do have some sort of resolution that says what they're formally operating under. It seems to be a formality. So we're just doing this as a formality. Does that hopefully answer all your questions?
Yeah, I was really curious about it when I saw it. I knew, you know, we already had it going on. Any questions, Commissioner Hutchinson?
No, I mean,
Commissioner
there's no reason not to do this. I mean,
Correct.
Mr. Chair?
Oh, a couple questions I had just on the resolution itself. If you think one is necessary, that's fine. Just some of the language involved, I'm not too comfortable. Again, I should say comfort. That's not a good term. And in paragraph 2, again, I'll start it there. I got to switch screens here. In paragraph 2, it says, whereas the Soldiers Relief Program along, I don't know if that's necessary because that's included in PA 192 of 1953. It's kind of like, if you want to put that in there, that's fine. It doesn't necessarily have to be in there because it's already included in PA 192 of 1953. But the one that I think we really need to look at, the language change, is under the next to the very last one and the last paragraph. We use the term created. I don't like that term. I think we need to put maintain because we've already had this ongoing. And if we say we're just now creating this, it could just say, well, what the hell have you been doing in the last X amount of years? I mean, we're maintaining that. And now we're bringing it to a resolution to continue on what we're doing. I don't like the word creation because I don't know, that's just me. I think we've already been doing it. Why, you know, we're just maintaining what we've already been doing and we're putting it into a resolution to codify it. That's my feeling. I don't have any problem doing it, especially you and I both know, Ian. I think it's in Commissioner Moreno and Commissioner Hutchison and Margaret. We've been around know enough, sooner or later, someone's going to ask for this, probably. This way our government regulations go. And as we get more and more into the CARES Act, I think, sooner or later, something's gonna come up and they're gonna, hey, where's your resolution for this? Well, here's our resolution, so I don't know. I just think that change the word create to maintain. And, the very first thing I brought up, you can leave that in there. It's not, it's already in the statute. It's already in the Public Act anyway. So, but that's all I have on it. I mean, like I said, I don't think we need to say we created it. We've already had it. So we're just maintaining it. And you still get your resolution out of that.
I agree. It's obviously easy to change the language. And again, the reason to doing this, the potential problem that could have been created had the state required us to have 192 under the grant program, that could have been a major issue. So this prevents any future problems that we can't foresee.
Mr. Chair,
Jim, you're muted.
Muted.
you're muted, Jim.
Okay, Administrator.
Thank you, sir. So Ian, I have a question. Did this resolution come from other counties that had passed it years ago? Is that where the lingo came from?
To be honest with you, Nicole helped me write it and did a lot of the work for it to get because I'd never written a resolution before, which it seemed to just come from the language itself, from the law itself.
Okay.
Or are you talking about the reasoning on why we're doing it?
No, not the reasoning. I was asking about the verbiage in the resolution itself. I was asking if you had collected resolutions from other counties to utilize as a base.
No, I think it just
Okay.
reflects the law itself.
So I would assume then that, changing create to maintain is not going to be, excuse me, an issue because we created the whole resolution from nothing. I was
Yes.
wondering if we were trying to follow a format that the state had already approved.
Yeah, and the state doesn't mandate we actually pass a resolution. This pretty much just seems a formality.
Right. No, I think we should. I absolutely think we should because sooner or later somebody's going to ask for it, just like Chairman Horton said.
And one thing this specifically did was the PA 192 actually cancels the Soldiers Relief Commission and transfers it to the Veterans Affairs Office, and that was kind of the big thing back then.
Sure.
Which we didn't have a Soldiers Relief Commission. We've had a Veterans Affairs Committee that replaced them a long time ago. So
right.
Yeah.
Ian, I just have one other, Chairman Moreno, if I can ask another question.
Yes, go ahead.
I just said under the statute, it lists 3 to 7. We have 5 on our committee. Do we want to have language in there that limits us to 5, or do we want to have, I think in the resolution, hold on one second, I got it on the screen here. The resolution under the administration of a 5-member Veteran Affairs Committee. We can leave it at that.
We could just
do we want to? I think the statute reads in your memo that I'm just going off what was in your memo. That under that statute, it's a 3 to 7 member committee. But we got 5, and that's what we have on our committee right now. But do we want to have that, or we want to?
3 to 7 can be 5.
Yeah. What we could do
no,
is
I'm just saying though.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, we could
No,
just
go
change
ahead.
the language to open it to 3 to 7. We could just change that to 3 to 7.
Yeah, the only reason I'm saying that is if everyone to expand it to 7, if another board wants to ever put it up to 7 or drop it down to 3, they wouldn't necessarily have to pass another resolution. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just thinking this.
I agree with you,
But
actually.
again, that's just work.
Why don't we just take 5-member out and put 3 to 7 member?
That sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. Otherwise than that, I'm fine with it. Ian, I thank you, and Jim and Terry. I don't know if you served or anybody else served, but thank you guys for that. It's yeah. I'm not going to go into that. Thank you.
Okay, Ian, so we can make those changes, correct?
Correct. I'll put that in there and send it up to Jessica, and they'll get it to the board.
Okay, so I need a motion on that, please.
Got a motion to consider adopting the Isabella County Board of Commissioners Resolution number 210501, adoption of PA 192 of 1953 to create a County Department of Veterans Affairs and authorize the board chair to sign the same.
Support. It's been moved and supported to move the item to the regular and full work session of the County Commission next week. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The motion carries. The item will be forwarded until next week. Thank you. That's that one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, our next item is consider approving the professional engineering services agreement for the Isabella County Parks Chippewa River Erosion and Canoe launch product with Spicer Group Incorporated of Saginaw, Michigan, pending legal counsel approval, and authorize the board chair to sign the same. What do we have, Sue Ann?
Good morning. This is a follow-up from in December. I let the board know that we were looking to do this project and we sent out requests for proposals. This is to help the erosion issues that we have, some of the issues in the park, and then also improving some of our landings and developing a new landing by the swinging bridge. So we went out to engineering and architectural firms for the request for proposal. And we received, well, we actually had 15 people. Just one moment. Sorry about that. And so we had about 14 people or 14 companies represented out at the walkthrough, which was really exciting to have that many people out there. And then we went to, in receiving the proposals, we did receive 4 as noted in my report. One was deemed not acceptable, and then the other 3, did a nice job. So what I've done is I've put in my report too of I'd like to recommend that we go with Spicer Group out of the 3 that did the proposal, and for the cost. I mean, their experience with river and other waterways or water features just exceeded all 3 of the companies that had, or the other 2 that applied. So we're looking at going with this. I would like to recommend going with this company for $16,536. It will be a little bit less if they don't have to do a topographical survey, but it seems like that might be the case that they do. The contours that we have through our GIS community development department are 4 feet, and we need a little bit, more detailed survey. So it does look like it would be $16,536. As noted in the report, we have, the funds have been listed of the folks that we've received money for and support for the project. And then we also have funds in our contract services line item if, construction project or bids come in a little bit higher due to what's happening now in construction. But we don't have much wood that needs to be purchased. But anyways, it's just, we are covered with the cost of this expense. So in my report, I also have a draft of the agreement with Spicer, and our legal counsel has it under review. And I just got the updated version, and it's been looked at by all parties. And so that will be added Friday with the packets, the updated agreement, if this is okay. But we're excited that we're finally at this point of getting this project, underway, and hopefully it'll be done by the end of the year. So
That sounds really good. Any questions or comments on this, commissioners?
No,
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jim.
Jim, is it okay if I speak?
Yeah, go ahead.
Perfect, thank you. So, and just a couple quick questions just to clean up. I noticed this, you stated in your memo, and I'm perfectly fine with it, as far as the Spicer Group not being the lowest bid. What is our policy? Mark, you probably might be able to chime in on this too. What is our policy in regards to not having to accept the lowest bid? I know, is that right in our policy? Is that in the RFP? What is that? How is that determined? I guess that's a general question.
So this is a request for proposals. So a request for proposals, we are looking for, in the end, what is determined to be in the best interest of the county, and that is in our policies. So the best interest of the county is, especially for a proposal where you're getting the expertise of experts and professionals, and they're telling you what they can do for you, as opposed to say, I buy 10,000 of these pens. 10,000 of these pens are a specific item. And it's easy to go, okay, the pen's the pen, whether it's the cheapest or not. But in this situation, we're looking for an engineering firm that we believe's proposal is in the best interest of the county. So we do not have a requirement to go with the lowest bid in our policies.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Next up, certainly another question I have. So what was budgeted in our budget? Was it $28,000 for professional service? What was the budgeted in that? Kind of in your $51,000, what was budgeted for?
It was, I would say more like 20,000 in the end. I didn't think it would even be that high, but when the bids came in, or the proposals came in, the four, even though the one wasn't, I guess, I was kind of in the ballpark. The 9,000, I will say the 9,500, he did not include surveys in his proposal, but he said he would include them in the 95. But again, due to experience, I just kept going back to Spicer. There was very limited on rivers he didn't have any river erosion issues or projects that, Kibbe had presented in his proposal. So that concerned me in making, a decision in his favor.
I'd say that's very pertinent and very important. The river experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. My last question, and this is just me being me on contracts and reviewing bids and what people charge us and everything. What they mean, Spicer, and I know this is pretty common in contracts, administration fee. That just drives me crazy when I see things like that. Looks like a 15% administration fee, or give or take. Is that just them covering their costs? Construction administration.
Yeah, I think so, Jim. I think also with a company like Spicer, which is very large, and if you see in their, cost table that is included in here, they have a lot more resources, I think, than other smaller companies have. I mean, Rowe, I think, can compete with them for sure, but I agree. I think I believe it's just they've got other people working on it, but that's also a benefit for us to get that expertise and moving the project along rather than, they've got engineers on their staff, as you can see, and surveyors. I mean, they don't contract out. I don't think they're surveying. They just bring a team out there and do it, and it's done. So, but I'm with you. It's always hard to.
Yeah, Margaret, real quick too. Spicer, isn't Spicer the ones that does? That's not, well, it's early. I can speak that way. Isn't Spicer the ones that with the turbines? Doesn't I see a lot of stuff from Spicer?
Yes.
I think they did I thought they really did an outstanding job. And when I was on the planning commission, their reports and everything was.
Yes.
It made a very difficult situation manageable by far.
Yes.
So
they really carried the ball.
Yeah, they did big time. So, okay. Thank you. I'm all done, Mr. Chairman.
Madam Administrator.
I would just add to the chairman's question regarding the administrative fee. I kind of look at that as a similar thing to our indirect costs that, we charge the non-general fund departments the indirect costs for administrative things. So, I'm not in, we'll use Sue Ann and Jen Crawford because they're sitting here. They're here. I'm gonna use them. I'm not, my position or the payroll people, the benefits people, financial management, all of that. Anybody in my office does not appear in either Commission on Aging or Parks budgets, but that's part of an indirect cost because obviously what we do supports what they do. And so I consider the administrative fee kind of similar to our indirect costs.
Okay.
Any Commissioner Hutchinson?
Yes, I think Jim hit on it. Just in Margaret too, as far as the when we go into a project like this, you got three people. Do we ever get references, Sue Ann, on the three companies?
Yes, it was required in the proposals, and all references were contacted by me.
Okay.
Some had 3, some had, or I believe we asked for 5, but I know I made a lot
Very
of
good.
phone calls. Yeah, so
Okay.
good question.
Okay, if there's no more questions, we need a motion on this item.
Yep. Make a motion to consider approving the professional engineering service agreement for the Isabella County Parks and Chippewa River Erosion and Canoe Launch Project with Spicer Group Incorporated of Saginaw, Michigan, pending legal counsel approval, and the authorize the board chair to sign the same.
Support. It's been moved and supported to move item 5 to the regular and full work session of the county commission next week. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
The opposed, the same. The motion carries. The item will be forwarded to the full work and regular session next week. Okay, our next item. Consider approving the memorandum of agreement between the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, Aging and Adult Services Agency and the Isabella County Commission on Aging for Senior Project Fresh, Market Fresh, and authorize the board chair to sign the same. Jen, what do we have here?
Morning. So we've been a part of this program since 2009 with the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, the aging program. The Senior Project Fresh, Market Fresh is a USDA program that promotes getting fresh fruits and vegetables into the hands of older adults in our community, and also promoting the sale of those items for our local farmers through the farmers markets. And it's an awesome program. So we're excited to be able to be a part of it and hope to be a part of it again. With this, the individuals who receive, they receive coupon booklets that total $20 in each one. And they can use those coupons at all of our local farmers market in the area. And in order to be eligible for the program, they have to be 60 years or older, and then their income has to fall at or below 185% of the poverty level, which I put that in my staff report as well. So one person, that's $23,828, and for 2 people, just over $32,000. So this is a great program. We were able to request 100 booklets to begin, and if for some reason any other organizations don't use all of theirs, they contact organizations back and ask if we can take some more. And so I know we have done that in the past. And as last year, they did make some changes because part of the program is we have to provide education, nutritional education. And so due to COVID last year, we were able to do that just with handouts. They provided us with educational handouts that we could give to each of the participants in the program, so they weren't actually on site for a class in person. So we'll be doing the same thing again this year.
Yeah, this is such a great program, and pretty soon the farmers market's going to open up, I think next week or something like that.
I believe so.
Great. Does anyone have any questions or comments on this program?
No, just the only thing I can say, Jim, is that, it's amazing the support we give. I mean, the support this community has and what's available to our seniors as compared to some of the other counties around the state. Actually, I have my in-laws are going to be moving into the county if the end of this month, first of next month. They're moving they resided always in Midland County. Now they're moving into Isabella County, going into a senior assisted living facility. So this is, and I've been bragging all along our wonderful Commission on Aging. So finally, they're going to get to be able to experience some of what I've been talking about. So there you go.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Okay, go ahead, Karen.
that's the one thing that I've seen just being on the board as short as I have is all the different programs and all the different help that is out there. It's amazing.
Okay, could I entertain a motion on this item, please?
Sure can. Consider approving the memorandum agreement between the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, Aging and Adult Services Agency and the Isabella County Commission on Aging for Senior Project Fresh, Market Fresh, and the authorized the board chair to sign the.
Support. It's been moved and supported to move item 6 to the regular and work session of the county commission. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The ayes have it. The item 6 will be moved to the regular and work sessions of the county commission next week. Okay, thank you. Our next item is consider approving Region 7 Area Agency on Aging Purchase of Service Provider Agreement Addendum M, COVID-19 premium pay for unhome providers, and authorize the board chair to sign the same. Okay, what do we have here, Jen?
Okay, so this is our purchase of service, provider agreement, or our waiver agreement that we have with Region 7 Area Agency on Aging. So this agreement has been in effect since October 2019 and goes through September of 2022, so next year. So what the waiver agreement basically is, when folks in our area need or require more services than what we are able to provide, then they're referred on to a program such as Region 7 or A&D Home Health Care. And then they, in turn, if they could use some assistance for folks that live in our county for different things such as personal care or homemaking or meals, then they can contact us, and then we can help them with some of those services per this agreement. So as of right now, as far as personal care, respite care, we do have one client still, one waiver client that we do service for Region 7 Area Agency on Aging. This is the third addendum to this agreement I've brought this year. So this is addendum M. This time they've taken the premium pay, instead of doing a month or 2 month chunk at a time. Now they've taken it through the rest of this fiscal year. So this is now from March 1st through September 30th of this year. And with that, they're doing a $2.28 an hour premium pay, with also including a 28 cents an hour amount for our agency for the county to use to cover any expenses that might take for us. And so we're just asking for you to approve this. Our staff that do this work, they do a lot of great things and have been working hard and doing a lot of extra due to COVID for sure. So this has been a great addition to their pay.
Great. Any questions? Go ahead, Terry.
Jen, how many people is this affecting?
Right now it's one. We have one employee that services this one
Okay.
client.
Okay.
Yeah. We've heard from the state we've heard from area agency that they had heard that the state was going to do the same thing for all of the rest of the clients that we serve. We just haven't received that yet from the state. So this would just be for that one waiver client that we do service.
Okay.
Administrator McAvoy.
Jen, for the benefit of the commissioners in the meeting, could you estimate how many other services we have to other homebound people under both the personal care and the homemaker? So we have one under this agreement, but how many do we serve with our own funds? Guesstimate.
I would say probably well over 200, easy.
Right. I just wanted to make that clear,
Yeah, no.
This is one grant for one person, but we have 200 other clients or clients that receive other services from our own staff under our funds, basically from our taxpayers and from some of these grants. And I can tell you, as an adult child of someone who was being very sick, and for years before he passed away, my dad, that wasn't available back then in the community that we were in. And whenever I'm at Commission on Aging, I'm also often asked to speak at, appreciation dinners and luncheons and all those types of things for all of our volunteers and all of our employees at Commission on Aging. Of course, we haven't done that for the last 15 months, but every time I get up to speak, sooner or later that comes, and then I choke up, and then I have to move on to another subject, because I can tell you the services that I see that we provide through Commission on Aging as the county, and Commissioner Horton made the comment about bragging. It is unparalleled. It's unparalleled. And it's a source of pride. And Commissioner Horton is waiting for me to say this because this is one of my favorite things. It's one of the jewels in our crown. Commission on Aging is one of the jewels in the crown for the county. And so I just wanted, especially Commissioner Hutchinson, who is still new, to understand the volume that we do. So this is for one, but we have a little army that serves these other 200 people, and they do such a great job. We have people, that's the only way they would ever be bathed or showered or have, their house cleaned if it wasn't for this. God knows what would happen to them. So I just wanted you to understand that.
Anybody have anything else? Okay, could we have a motion, please?
Sure. I can make a motion to consider approving the Region 7 Area Agency on Aging Purchase of Services Provider Agreement amended COVID-19 premium pay for in-home providers and authorize the board chair to sign the same.
Support. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The ayes have it. The motion carries. Item 7 will be moved to the regular and work session of the county commission next week. Thank you, Jen, very much. Okay,
Thanks, Jen.
our last item is consider adopting Isabella County Board of Commissioners Resolution number 21-05-02, supporting passage of legislation to adopt 4-year terms for county commissioners and authorize the board chair to sign the same.
I believe, Mr. Chair, if I may,
Yeah, go ahead.
I believe this is a resolution that was received via, I don't know, Chairman Moreno, did you submit this to Jessica?
Yes, I did, and
Thank you.
I got it from Mac. They're
Yes.
pushing to have this change go into be enacted into law. 11 counties so far: Allegan Bay, Sheboygan, Marquette, Newaygo, Clinton, Emmett, Genesee, Houghton, Wexford, and Ontonagon have already passed this.
That's what I wanted to say. Thank you for filling that and giving that information. This does come from the Michigan Association of Counties, and I just wanted the board to know where it originated from. That's that's what MAC is. I don't know. I guess I would say requesting that Board of Commissioners consider.
Right. Actually, I'd like to read this so that commissioners can get a little background on this, if you don't mind. Whereas PA 192 of 1953 allows the County Board of Commissioners to create a county department of veterans. Whoops, wrong one. Sorry. Okay, there we go. Supporting passage of the legislation to adopt 4-year terms for county commissioners. Whereas the 1963 Michigan Constitution stipulated 4-year terms for the County Board of Supervisors, the preceding body today's Board of Commissioners. And whereas the legislature voted in 1966 to abolish boards of supervisors and formally replace them with Board of Commissioners after the 1968 elections. And whereas Public Act 261 of 1966 promulgated that the length of terms for the new county commissioners shall be concurrent with that of state representatives as specified in Article 4, Section 3 of the Michigan Constitution. And whereas the scope of duties of county commissioners have greatly increased in the last century: road patrols, indigent defense, mental health treatment, and substance abuse prevention, programming, solid waste pickup and disposal, food and water supplies, safety, park operations, economic development efforts, emergency management and response. And whereas Michigan is one of the only 5 states in the United States that provides for exclusive 2-year terms for county commissioners. And whereas all other county and township elected officials in Michigan are elected to terms of at least 4 years. And whereas the position of the county commissioner is highly complex oversight role that requires years to master. And whereas legislation to amend state law to enact 4-year terms has been filed in the form of Senate Bills 242 and 245. And whereas the Michigan Association of Counties supports the legislation as introduced, therefore be it resolved that Isabella County supports Senate Bills 242 and 245 to enact 4-year terms for county commissioners. Okay, you can see how in states we're kind of rare with the 2-year terms. How all the other county elected officials have more in townships, and how it's very much more complicated now than it was in the beginning, and how important this is. And the reason I submitted this was because we want to get the momentum going. It was going to be passed last legislative session, but they got hung up on whether it should be in a presidential term or a non-presidential term. So that's why I did this, and I'm hoping that I can get support from other commissioners. Go ahead, Terry.
Yeah, I totally support you, Commissioner Marino. This is something that's just, it just helps the county be stable, and that you've got people in there that are working in a term. That the other thing that I think is a little crazy out there is everybody running on the same term. In so many things, like when I was on the school board, we ran we staggered everything. So you didn't have everybody voting and going on to a 4-year term. Just for the fact that if something came up, you're not flipping a whole board. And I don't know if that has any merit to it too, but no, I agree with you. I think it should be a 4-year term. Just the work that I've done with the other commissioners and the little bit that I've been there, I mean, you need to have stability in your county. So I agree.
Great. Commissioner Horton.
Sure. Thank you, Chairman Moreno. Yeah, normally on resolutions, I kind of, I don't know, say with this one, this is definitely a bipartisan issue. There's no politics involved with this. I think this speaks, I fully agree that a 2-year term every 2 years is, it's county commissioner role certainly should be a 4-year term. I guess I would like to, as far as resolution goes, I'm fully in support of how it's written today. Do we want, though, as a board, instead of just focusing on the Senate, do we want to also add, hopefully the House can approve it, and also encourage Governor Whitmer to sign it? Do we want to put everything under one resolution so it kind of continues on through the passage of whatever bill goes through? I mean, because this one addresses the Senate, but do we want to also put down, encourage the House and also encourage Governor Whitmer to sign the package? That way we don't have to do another. That way we don't have to do another resolution.
I don't think so, and I don't think we have to do another resolution. This is just rolling the snowball down the hill so it gets bigger. It practically passed last time. This is just building momentum to get it passed, and it will. And there's 2 sponsors. One is Ed McBroom, and the other is Jeremy Moss. And they had it in committee. I don't really think it's necessary. The other part.
Okay. No, like I said, I just think if we're going to put something out like this, go all the way with it and encourage because the House will have to pass it too. I mean, so the House have to pass it. Whitmer will have to sign
the
it.
big sticking point is the Senate. They're the ones that they really obstruct a lot of things that we're trying to do. And one step at a time. First, we got to get it passed in the Senate and out of the committee. And there's signals from MAC that that's really likely to happen. And this is just the next step.
Okay. Now, like I said, the way it's written, I have no problem with it. And if that's what, if that's what the board wants to do, like I said, I would go further than that, but also I'll support this resolution as it's written right now, certainly.
Commissioner Administrator McAvoy, you had your hand up.
I was just going to say my understanding from MAC is pretty similar to what Commissioner Moreno just said, is that I think they are looking, and and they do represent us as a professional organization. So I think what they're looking to do, they will probably come back, Chairman Horton. I would say that you're absolutely right. They want to get this one down through the Senate first, and then they'll tackle the House. I haven't heard from the governor. Not that she's going to call me personally. Let me say that differently. I haven't heard anything from the governor's office that there is any opposition to this. And I can't imagine she would have opposition to it. She was a county prosecutor. So, she served as a 4-year term elected official herself before she went into the state level politics. So I would bet that MAC must have a reason to want to have these all end up in front of the Senate to kind of get the ball, as Commissioner Moreno said, down the hill. And then I would anticipate we'll probably come back, as you said, Chairman Horton, with other resolutions and eventually be able to put them all together. I'm just thinking that might be Mac's thoughts.
Okay, could I have a motion on this, please?
Make a motion to consider adopting the Isabella County Board of Commissioners Resolution number 21-05-02, supporting passage of the legislation to adopt a 4-year term for county commissioners and authorize the board chair to sign the same.
Support. It's been moved and supported to move item 5 to the regular and work session, work sessions of the county commission. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The ayes have it. The motion will be carried. I just want to say that, thank you. I just want to say that I'm going to be participating in the MAC conference Wednesday and Thursday. And should be quite interesting. And I didn't know if you know this, Commissioner Hutchinson, but they do have a new commissioners school that really goes through everything. They're going to announce that. I've always been going to them when we could go to things. And I just also want to say that I think it's really important for us to always interact with other commissioners throughout the state. It's really helpful. It's really educational, and it's really enlightening to see the similarities and differences that different counties have. Quite a bit of similarities and also differences. I mean, I just went to the Health and Human Services Committee. I didn't go to it. I participated yesterday, and a person from Lake County was mentioning some concerns they have about people not wanting to get vaccinated and stuff like that. So it's different in different places, but it really has always been very valuable to me as far as helping me do my job better as a county commissioner. Commissioner McAvoy, I mean, administrator.
I would like to just kind of circle back to the Spicer discussion real quick.
Sure.
For Commissioner Hutchinson, who wasn't with us at this time, but during the flood of 2017, we of course had, I think it was $86 or $87 million worth of damage in our county. It was unbelievable. And a large part of that was had to do with drains. And I think that people in their heads think that, the Drain Commission only works with drains out in the country that have to do with agriculture. But actually, we had a team of folks who were trained to do assessment of these damages. However, they weren't familiar with that system. And in the end, it was recommended to me that we contact someone who was a professional in that area and have them come in and do the assessment for us, the damage assessment. So I talked to an attorney late at night because I got her phone number. And I talked to an attorney who works for, she doesn't work for, but one of the groups that she advises is the Drain Commissioner Association. So I called her because she was highly recommended to me by a drain commissioner someplace else that I know well. I called her and she said to me, it was a Saturday night, about 9:30 from the Emergency Operations Center. And she said, let me call you back in the morning. Okay. She called me back in the morning about 8:30 and she said, Spicer Group will have engineers on site today by 11 o'clock. A number of them are here, there, or else, but they're going to be there. Okay. They came in and the assessment they did, and I'm not exaggerating, I have the book in my office. I think it's a 4-inch binder.
Wow.
We paid less than $14,000. I don't remember if it was $13,500 or $13,700. I don't remember. It was less than $14,000. They were on site for days. And they charged us for less than $14,000 for that. We utilized that information to receive more than $1.8 million worth of grants. $900,000 to our drain commissioner that we applied for from USDA, and the other $900,000 of a grant that CMU was able to apply for. They had extensive damage, and we have a county drain that goes through CMU's property. On top of the fact that we received $1.8 million on a $13,000 investment. The $13,000 investment that we paid was reimbursed to us by the Michigan Emergency Management Team. So I think that was the best decision, one of the best decisions I've made. You know, it was great having those contacts, but Spicer really, without them and without the work they did, starting on a Sunday and going for days, we never would have received those grants. So I just wanted to add that. I should have brought that up in the discussion on the Spicer contract, but I just wanted you to know, on top of what Commissioner Horton said about the great job they did with the wind turbines, which was a phenomenal job. Managed all those planning commission meetings for us, got all that information out, was very transparent. They also came to us in the middle of a crisis and took very good care of us.
Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, anybody have any other comments or questions or concerns?
There's no general public comment at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. In that case, I will adjourn the meeting of the Human Resources Public Works Committee. Thank you, everybody.
Hey,
Thank you, everyone.
Jim,
Yeah.
did you get anything from district health meeting for tomorrow? What time to get there? If we're gonna go earlier?
No,
than that,
I
you know?
didn't. I'm gonna call Allison today. Yeah, I know what
Okay.
you mean, because we're supposed to be there before the meeting starts for the
Right,
check
okay.
expenditure. I didn't get anything yet. I'll check my email.
Okay.
And
And
I'll call
that's,
her
and
up too.
okay, all right. I think I've been in that building before. I think I know right there. I'm sure I've been in there. I think we went in there one time. I did when we were doing the time of transfer ordinance. So I think that's probably the same location. So,
It's the courthouse in Harrison,
okay, very good. All right.
where the sheriff's department is and all that.
Yep, okay, yep, I know right where that's at. Perfect. Okay, thank
Okay.
you. I'll see you tomorrow. Take
See ya.
care. Take care, guys. See you.
Thank you, everyone.
See you in
Bye-bye.
about an hour, Margaret.
Yes.
Bye.